my fucking 11-year-old son was a huge Tate fan, that would very fucking scare me.
All right, well then let me flip it on you.
Yeah.
Being a young teenager, without the terror that if you touch in the wrong place at the wrong time, you may find that your whole life is destroyed.
See, I
and there
like
is
that
far
terror.
too much. Well,
I like that.
As a
I
mother
think
of
that
a
men
teenage
should be
boy, I
frightened.
don't like
I think that
awful.
men should be frightened. I think it's better to not have a physical relationship than to have one that could ruin a woman's life. It's so obvious.
We actually do
It's
have that.
like-
Gen Z is having far less sexual relationships.
Yeah.
I think there's a whole swath of the population, especially young men, that feel disenfranchised. They feel disenfranchised with the media machine and the things they're supposed to believe. They don't feel an affinity with the educational systems or the culture. And they look at a person like me who stands up and says the things that many young men think. I haven't put a magic spell on the world. The fact that people like what I say means that they agree with me deep inside. I'm seen as a bastion of free speech and a bastion for masculinity as a whole, because a lot of men are largely forgotten about. I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you. You're only going to be cared about based on how useful you are. You have the chance to build yourself up and become a superhero if you're prepared to do the hard work and be indefatigable enough to never quit. But if you're going to stand around and wait for a handout, nobody's going to ever respect you. And I think that a lot of people have forgotten about how difficult and how competitive it is as a man. We're always in constant competition with each other. And it's your duty as a man to stand up and say, I want to be as important and strong and good-hearted and God-fearing as possible, and I need to work hard to achieve those things. The dangerous thing about overly emotional men is that they're dangerous. They're genuinely dangerous. This is what's crazy. All these people who talk about toxic masculinity and how bad it is for men to be traditionally masculine. A traditionally masculine man does things he doesn't feel like doing because it is his duty to do them. He charges into the building because it is his duty. Not because he feels like it, because it is his duty. We're now teaching the new generation of men that they don't have duty and they can just act on their feelings and act how they feel, and they don't have to act as a man should. Do you know what happens when you get men who just act how they feel? You get school shooters, you get violence, you get rapists. Men who do not control their emotions are dangerous. If you find a man who is stoic, he's not going to hurt people. He's going to sit and think about his actions very carefully, and he's going to be a good man who protects and provides for his family. You find a man who just acts out on impulse and does whatever he feels like, you're going to find a dangerous man. Sitting here telling men to cry more and act with their feelings and it's okay to feel this way, that way, etc., and have no self-control. That is why we have the problems we have in the world. Absolutely not wrong. So when they talk about toxic masculinity, they have it completely inversed on its head, completely not wrong. We need to be teaching stoicism. We need to be teaching young men to understand that the world is very, very difficult. It's hard to be a man. You're going to feel bad sometimes. You need to suck it up and perform anyway. Not just sit there and cry your eyes out and blame other people.
If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life. Because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place, completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. It is trained like everything else in life. You can be king of earth. You have every single thing except for mind control. You have the last missing piece and you can conquer the planet. I mean the best for people. I want everyone to be successful. I want the world to be a better place. And I think the world's a better place based on the back of strong men who stand up for what they believe in. I think that's how the world's always been a better place. The Matrix programming says the opposite, but what did I say earlier about who is telling us, who is giving us these ideas, and do they care about us? They're telling us that to be a better place, all the men need to be weaklings and compassionate without any morals or without any hard lines or beliefs, and they must talk in a very, very soft way, and we need to be very, very compassionate and very, very tolerant and all these things. But if you look at history, the only times things were peaceful and nice is when strong men stood up with their swords and said, no, this is mine and this works this way and no one's going to come fuck with it. I think that masculinity and strength is what makes things beautiful, is what preserves things, and is what we need more of. This is what's missing from the world. All of the problems in the world today could be solved by men of honor, not doing bad things, men of honor standing up and saying, no, this is wrong. That could fix a lot, but nobody seems to want to do it because they're too busy being distracted by the Matrix. I watched the movie The Matrix, I watched Morpheus, and I understood why he goes back inside of the Matrix to free minds. I don't care if I take one person and I free his mind. That's my new hobby now. My new hobby now is replicating the mindset which is going to be capable of resisting the oncoming enslavement of humanity. I am Morpheus coming in and out inside of the Matrix, driving the Nebuchadnezzar up and down from Zion, freeing minds. That's my new hobby. And I'll be around for a while. And then one day I might vanish and disappear.
The controversial social media influencer Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania.
The Matrix has attacked me.
They've had this investigation going since April. We're now February, and there are not even charges filed against them. So this is a huge injustice the way we see it. They should not be detained at this point. We think it's now crossed over to the point where it's violating international human rights law. They're controversial public figures, but that's not a crime. And at this point, we have not been provided any proof that they've committed any crimes, nor have they even been charged. So I would ask that people presume them innocent as they are.
Do we need another guide here saying go to the gym, get your finances in order, like be a man? I don't know how much like uniqueness he's offering there that's valid.
You want to buy a car, you put the car on the wall and it motivates you to go to work to get the car. So that's a goal. Goals are for motivation. I don't work on motivation, I work on discipline.
Why is it bad for men to want to strive to have 20 supercars?
Because putting you in a mindset where you think that material things are going to improve your life, like spiritually, or improve your life in like a holistic, like psychological sense, it's a path that I've watched so many people go down before.
I don't work to try and afford that car. I work because I'm supposed to work. And then I can already afford that car and another one and another one and a boat and a plane and a house and another house and a land. And then I just work. I do my work. That is my duty as a man, is my duty to God. I train in the gym, it is my duty to God.
Becoming better, faster, stronger, cooler, wealthier, sexier, healthier, all that, then you can get the Bugatti. But don't get lost in the sauce. That is the message.
I do what I'm supposed to do.
Wow.
It's not a matter of how I feel or how I'm motivated. If I was depressed, my life would be, and the day-to-day activities would be exactly the same as if I was ecstatically happy. You wouldn't be able to see a difference. I'd be up at the same time, I'd be in the gym the same, I'd be doing the same shit. Those are my duties to God. How I feel has nothing to do with it. How I feel is unrelated to my duties to God. They don't change based on how I feel. They're the same, and they will be completed because I refuse to fail God or my bloodline. Your ancestors did all that shit, all that struggling to survive, hunting and gathering, fucking avoiding enemies, anything it took, dying at age 30 from a tooth infection, all the crap they went through just for you to be born so you could smoke weed and jack off. That's what your ancestors died for. That's what they worked so hard for. That's who you are. That's the end of your fucking bloodline. Do you feel no shame? It's fucking shameful. My ancestors will look at me and think everything we went through was fucking worth it. Most of these people, their ancestors look at them and feel nothing but fucking disgust. It's fucking true, it's disgusting. And they should look in the mirror, look deep in their own eyes and say, yes, I'm fucking disgusting, I can change this. That's the beauty about being a man. If you're disgusting, you can change it. That's the beauty. There's nothing stopping you changing it.
You're right.
You must accept it. You must accept it first.
Ask the politicians, ask the judges, you're getting closer to the truth.